about an hour ago, Woj had a bomb that said the Celtics have emerged among teams engaged in talks on a possible deal to acquire Kevin Durant. Still in the exploratory stage here, but this is what I found interesting. The Celtics were the ones who reached out to the Nets. The Nets had been reaching out, at least reportedly reaching out, saying, hey, you want Kevin Durant? What are you going to give us? The Celtics were proactive here. Now, I don't know if this is just at the beginning part of it. It feels that way. But the Miami Heat and Phoenix Suns and the Raptors, they're trying varying degrees of interest here in Durant to see if they can pull off a deal. Now, the possibility of a deal for Durant to Boston would include Jaylen Brown, not Jason Tatum. And then there would be draft picks in there, unprotected draft picks. There'd probably be a couple other players involved in that. Got to make the salaries work as well. But that's about an hour ago that Woj had the bomb about the possibility of the Nets and the Boston Celtics maybe pulling off a deal. Now, he did caution everybody here. He's just reporting that the Celtics have had talks with the Nets. That's it. I'm sure that the Suns did. I'm sure the Raptors have. I'm sure that the Miami Heat have. But you have details here. That's the difference. That you actually have players that we know that that's the guy or those are the guys and this is what they want. But if I'm the Boston Celtics, and yes, you want Kevin Durant, and if you could give up Jaylen Brown has 2 more years on his contract. You might lose him after 2 years. And if you want to throw in Grant Williams, you want to throw in some draft picks. Now, there's another report that said that they're looking at Marcus Smart, that the Nets would like to have Jaylen Brown, Marcus Smart, and maybe another player and some draft picks. If I'm the Nets and I'm trading Kevin Durant, I want to get Jason Tatum. That's it. I want Jason Tatum. The Nets may go, hey, you know what? We're not in an advantageous situation here. Well, you are. You got Kevin Durant under contract. Just keep him. That's all. How badly does he want out? I also find it interesting, ironic, as they might say, that here's Kevin Durant maybe leaving the Nets, leaving Kyrie behind to go to the Celtics, and then some of the Celtics who played with Kyrie would then be going to the Nets to play with Kyrie. That's pretty good. That's kind of delicious there. But right now, just the exploratory, the beginning, the embryonic stages of maybe a trade here. But if I start to look at this and I go, okay, who am I getting? Who am I building around? That's if I look at it from the Nets, because we always look at it from the other side of things where you go, boy, the Celtics could get Kevin Durant. Okay, what do the Nets get in return? Because KD's going to go there. Jaylen Brown, okay, good player. And if the Celtics had won the title, might have been the MVP in the finals. Was far better than Jason Tatum. You got Marcus Smart, kind of figured out his role. You brought in Malcolm Brogdon to Boston, so you do have the possibility of Malcolm Brogdon being your starting point guard, not coming off the bench. You want to throw in a big man. You want to throw in somebody defensive-minded, Robert Williams. I mean, throw in whoever and some draft picks there. If I'm the Nets, I need a little bit more there. But if I'm the Celtics, do I do it? Do I give up Jaylen Brown, Marcus Smart, Robert Williams? Here's the other part is if you're involved in the trade talks, like Jaylen Brown is probably going, oh, should I take this as a compliment that it's me for Kevin Durant, sort of? Or does he go, I'm not staying here no matter what. If I don't get traded, I'm not staying here. You know, you don't value me. I was our best player in the NBA Finals. Now you want to send me to the Nets for Kevin Durant? But let's say you look at it as 3-year window. Because that's how I would look at this. I'm going to get Kevin Durant for 3 years. Do I say that's enough for 3 years? Because I got the the ages of these players for the Celtics. If I factor that in, they're all young. And if I could have Jaylen Brown, who, I'd love to see what he does outside of Jason Tatum. You got a 25-year-old potential superstar, and maybe benefited by being, a Pippen to Tatum's Jordan. But Tatum's 24. Tatum is the next Kevin Durant, perhaps. That's where I would still say, look, we'll trade you KD, but we want Jason Tatum back. We'll take less in return, but I'm going to guess that conversation doesn't last that long. But you put KD in there with Jason Tatum and then surround him with whatever you have left over. And I was curious what DraftKings would have. Now, here's the potential. Now, this is based off the potential for a trade. Title odds have shifted. The Celtics are an even larger favorite to win next year's NBA title. So on the 12th of this month, the Celtics were plus 550 to win it all. Boston's now plus 500. The second best odds, Clippers and the Warriors at plus 600. Well, if you're Boston, and right now you're the favorites to win the NBA title, why do you trade for Kevin Durant? You got Tatum, you got Brown, Brogdon came in, Marcus Smart. I think I got a good team, got a good coach. I would stand pat. I mean, KD is great to have, wonderful player, one of the great players of all time. I don't want to give up too much to get him, and then maybe you don't have the depth to win a championship here. And Golden State certainly won because of the depth that they had. And they didn't even play. Kuminga and Wiseman was injured. But having Wiggins and Poole to help out with Steph Curry and Draymond Green and Klay Thompson. I mean, that's why they won the title. And it feels like it's two really good players, superstars, and then depth. Because sometimes you go for the big three. I would stay with the big two and then have depth there if I'm Boston. As much as, you would love to have KD, I'd rather keep Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum together, unless they don't like each other, unless their games are very, very similar, and then you think you got to do something different. But I don't know what it's going to mean for KD and Jason Tatum getting along out there, playing the same position. Yeah, Marv.
Yeah, I'm with you. And I think that it's going to be so awkward if none of this happens and they go back to training camp.
Yeah.
And Brad Stevens is like, hey, Jalen, how's it going? What do you mean, how's it going?
How was your offseason?
No, how was your offseason, Brad? Disappointed, I'm sure.
Yeah. But if I'm the Nets, I want Jason Tatum. If I'm the Celtics, I would stand pat. I would. I know that sounds crazy to turn down Kevin Durant, but what do I give up in return? And do I have enough to win a championship? Yeah, Paulie.
According to Shams Charania of The Athletic an hour ago, he reported the Boston Celtics offered Jaylen Brown for Durant in that package, and the Nets are the ones who turned it down. As of right now, the Nets turned it down. So the Celtics wanted it.
The Celtics they want KD, but they're giving up Jaylen Brown.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I'm saying that officially the Nets passed on that deal an hour ago, according to The Athletic.
Yeah. And I understand it. If I can keep Jason Tatum and then I got Durant, sure. Now, is Marcus Smart in there? Is Robert Williams? I mean, I don't know who else is going to be thrown in there. But right now, it's just the start. And, of course, it's on a Monday, and it's early, so everybody's going to fly with this today.
It's just discussion. It's just talks. Okay? It's nothing.
No. I don't know how serious it is. It might be one of those where, I growing up, I remember calling girls to go out on a date. We never went out on a date, but we did talk about maybe going out on a date.
I feel like the word exploratory is being used. They're more just calls. They're just exploratory.
What are you doing? Would you want to go to the football game? It's not like we were getting married, but that's what it feels like. Anything that has to do with Durant, certainly this time of the year, then all of a sudden it's going to go from 0 to 60.